Further afield, Zimbabweans are going to the polls in presidential and parliamentary elections after a campaign dominated by the country's soaring inflation. Today has been declared a public holiday to allow the 6.62 million registered voters a chance to vote. President Emmerson Mnangagwa faces 10 challengers, including Nelson Chamisa of the main opposition Citizens Coalition for Change. Many hope the election could end the country's lengthy economic crisis, but those expectations are tempered by concerns that the contest is skewed in favor of a party that has been in power for more than 4 decades.
Zimbabweans vote in an election this week that many hope could end a lengthy economic crisis in what was once considered one of Africa's most prosperous countries. Irene Mutero, a vendor on the streets of the capital Harare, is one of those who say what they want is change.
Things are tough for everyone. I'm registered to vote and I'm going to vote.
But hope is tempered by expectations that Wednesday's contest is skewed in favor of the ZANU-PF. The party has been in power for more than 4 decades. For most of that time, Robert Mugabe was at the helm. He led the violent seizure of white-owned farms in 2000. Zimbabwe has been in economic turmoil ever since. Mugabe was ousted in a military coup in 2017 and replaced by longtime ally Emmerson Mnangagwa. At his penultimate rally, Mnangagwa said they need more time to build our motherland.
We are determined to lift more and more of our people out of poverty into higher quality of life.
Mnangagwa won Zimbabwe's first post-Mugabe election in 2018, which was unsuccessfully challenged by the opposition. Political analyst Dr. Pedzisai Ruhania says this election will again be contentious.
Of course, it's headed for another decision. It is very clear. How do you go into an election without a voters' roll?
That's a reference to one dispute in this election. The opposition Citizens Coalition for Change has taken the Electoral Commission to court to demand access to electronic copies of the voters' roll, so it can be searched and analysed. The Electoral Commission has said all parties have been given printed copies. The courts have yet to rule in what is one of several legal challenges mounted by the opposition ahead of the vote. Though there are 11 candidates vying for the presidency, the election is really a battle between the CCC's Nelson Chamisa, a 45-year-old lawyer and pastor, and 80-year-old Mnangagwa, who goes by the nickname the Crocodile. At a rally in Bulawayo, Chamisa said he had told Regional Bloc, the Southern African Development Community, that Mnangagwa was not preparing to win, but plotting to rig.
He stole the election in 2018, but this time I will not accept to allow him to steal the election again.
The opposition says its supporters are routinely arrested under Zimbabwe's tough public order laws, and that there have been cases of violent intimidation by ZANU-PF supporters. Police have blocked some of the opposition's rallies. They deny targeting bias and say rallies for both major parties have been stopped for reasons of public safety. A ZANU-PF spokesperson has denied allegations of voter intimidation and unfair electoral processes, accusing the opposition of being obsessed with criticising the electoral process so that they have something to say after losing. Wilbert Mandinde of the Zimbabwe Human Rights NGO Forum says it is not proper for members of the opposition to struggle to campaign.
The human rights situation in Zimbabwe has been bad. Elections are meant to be something in which people look forward to, in which people then go and exercise their rights to vote.
Nevertheless, the opposition hopes it can defy the odds and win this time. They're counting on frustrations over the long-running economic crisis. Inflation is among the highest in the world, while only 30% of Zimbabweans hold formal jobs. Political analysts say young voters, who have never known a prosperous Zimbabwe, could play a significant role. 1/6 of the registered electorate are first-time.
Still on that, Zimbabwe holds general elections on Wednesday, that is today, with just one woman presidential candidate out of 11 contenders. While the number of women running for parliamentary and council seats has improved, gender activists say more work is needed when just one woman is running for the nation's highest office. Columbus Mavunga filed this story from Harare.
On Zimbabwe's presidential ballot, there are 11 candidates. Only one is a woman, 49-year-old Elizabeth Vanerio. The former nature conservationist says campaigning has been a challenge because many people in Zimbabwe, including women, still believe that a man should lead this country.
And so I think as I've been able to get more and more exposure and the platform has grown for me to be able to share our views, our vision, our mission, the manifesto that we have created, people are starting to embrace me as a woman, as a leader. But initially, I think culturally we've got a lot of work to do in terms of changing the mindset of Zimbabweans and getting them to understand that women are just as capable.
The Zimbabwe Gender Commission released a statement saying it was disappointed that only one female candidate made the presidential election ballot in a country of 15 million people where the majority of voters are women. Madeleine Chiku is chairwoman of the Women's Coalition of Zimbabwe.
I think we are going to lobby for more women to participate going forward. We are also going to see how these women can be assisted to fundraise because, as you are aware, the electoral fee was high and a lot of people struggled to reach the benchmark.
Linda Masarira sought to run in the election but was rejected after failing to pay the $20,000 registration fee on time. That fee is up from the $1,000 in 2018 when 4 female candidates made the ballot in the presidential race. Sibusisiwe Buddha Masara from the Zimbabwe Women's Parliamentary Caucus says more women also need to contest for seats in the legislature.
Right now, in parliamentary elections, only 7% of contestants are female for the 210 seats. So there's much which will come out. So we should start in council getting 50-50 men and women.
For now, activists are watching to see how Valerio fares in the presidential election.
Moving on, the construction of Mombasa Roads